Arsenal fans are getting frustrated at the lack of business in the transfer window. But the reality is, a lot of the targets that they're linked with are still on holiday or are playing in the Club World Cup. I think June is going to be absolutely massive for Arsenal's transfer plans going forward. There's updates with regards to Thomas Partey, Rodrygo, Camavinga. Is he on the shortlist for Arsenal players? Zubimendi set to be announced. Liverpool are out there doing the absolute most this transfer window. Florian Wirtz, Kirkes, Frimpong. They've just sold Quansah. They're now going for Gahey. Arsenal fans are getting extremely frustrated. I want to talk about the transfer window for Arsenal going into next month. It's boiling in the UK. It's 30 degrees again. I am absolutely melting away. If you haven't already, please go down. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts. There's a lot to get through today with regards to potential Arsenal's 77 million offer for Rodrygo coming out from credible sources in Spain. Make sure you go down, smash the granite out of that subscribe button. We're steamrolling our way towards 60K. We're under 300 subscribers away from 58,000. So if you haven't already, please go down, smash that subscribe button. Now, I want to start with Thomas Partey. According to reports, there's a 90% chance he will be leaving Arsenal. Now, there's something come out earlier I've seen on Twitter, which says Thomas Partey reveals he thought he would join Arsenal in 2018 after Atletico Madrid beat the Gunners in the Europa League. In 2020, Andrea Berta wanted him to stay, but he left after the president refused to give his agent 10% commission. Now, whoever Arsenal get to replace Thomas Partey, for me, it's going to be a very, very interesting appointment. I don't think Martin Zubimendi is a Thomas Partey replacement. I think Martin Zubimendi is going to be a very, very good signing for Arsenal. I think he's got a lot of good traits, passing ability, availability. He doesn't get injured as much as Thomas Partey. He's also a lot younger, can play in central midfield, can play as a DM, very good with the ball going forward. A good understanding of how he would play in the Arsenal midfield. Of course, going with former teammates like, I don't know if he actually played with Odegaard, but obviously he played with Mikel Merino. If they do let Thomas Partey go, they are linked with someone like Camvinga. Now, Camvinga, apparently Real Madrid are open to selling him for around 50 to 60 million. Other sources have said 42 million. I'm going to start by saying I think this transfer is very unlikely. I think Arsenal could potentially get one player from Real Madrid, which is Rodrygo, which we'll get onto in a minute. But I think Zubimendi is very unlikely for 50 million euros, maybe 42 million pounds. You're probably looking at 70 to 80 million to get him out of Real Madrid. Plus, he's also happy. Plus, Luka Modric has just left. So their midfield options aren't as strong as some people may think. Of course, they've got Tchouaméni, Federico Valverde, and Camavinga. But other than that, you've got Dani Ceballos, you've got Arda who's more of an attacking option. But in terms of central midfielders, Toni Kroos is no longer there. Obviously, he retired a few years ago. Modric's gone. He's going to be joining AC Milan. So I don't think that the Camavinga, I think if he was to leave, you're probably looking at around 80 million pounds. Arsenal have rekindled interest in Camavinga. This is coming out from a source on Twitter. I don't know how reliable this is, but this source says Arsenal have after you translate it, Arsenal have rekindled their interest in Eduardo Camavinga as Thomas Partey's future remains uncertain. The Gunners recently sounded out Real Madrid about Camavinga's situation after he had inconsistent 2024-2025 season. Madrid isn't selling unless they make a huge offer. And this is what I'm saying. You're probably talking 60, 70, 80 million pounds to get him out of a contract at Real Madrid. It's absolutely insane. Sorry, it's just so hot in here. Rodrygo, however, according to reports out in Spain, has held a meeting with Xabi Alonso. Fabrizio Romano has also said that a meeting will be taking place. Apparently, he's unhappy playing out on the right. Of course, Real Madrid did play against Al Hilal in the Club World Cup, and I believe Real Madrid will be playing later today. So it's going to be interesting. They're playing against Pacua, who are a Mexican team. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if he starts. This is definitely one to watch. This report coming out from Spain says Arsenal are ready to make a move for Rodrygo. A deal for the Brazilian would cost as much as £77 million. Now, if you bring Rodrygo in for £77 million, that for me is the equal signing to Liverpool bringing in a Florian Wirtz. Rodrygo for me is one of the best wingers in Europe who's played out of position for year after year at Real Madrid. They played against Al Hilal Madrid a few days ago, and Rodrygo only played 65 minutes. He was subbed off early. Bellingham played 70. Vinny played 80. Garcia Tchouameni played 90. Federico Valverde played 90. Arda Güler played 45. Luka Modric come on and played only 5 or 6 minutes. But he's according to reports out in Spain, he is starting to get unhappy and frustrated at the lack of the fact that he's not playing on the left because they do have Vinicius Jr. Now, Ben Jacobs has said a few weeks ago that, and this report only come out today, it is the 22nd of June, I believe. Yeah, it is. This report only come out today. Ben Jacobs said that Arsenal are readying up a move for Rodrygo. Now, they have to do something and do something fast. I think July, their targets like Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres are both on holiday. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with regards to, either of those strikers. Arsenal are, going for Benjamin Sesko out of the two. That's the one they apparently want. Although that Victor Gyökeres is planning a move to Arsenal. So to be honest with you, right now, I don't know who out of the two is going to be the guy. Victor Gyökeres wants a move, according to Record Portugal, to Arsenal and believes an agreement can be reached. He's ready to talk to Sporting and demand they respect the agreement they had with him. So whoever they're looking at bringing in out of the two, if you bring them in alongside Rodrygo, I think a lot of Arsenal fans would be very, very optimistic about that. And when you look at the situation with you've got teams out there like Liverpool and Man City that have already made 3 signings each. Man City have brought in Cherki, Aït-Nouri, and Reinders. Liverpool have brought in Kerkez, Frimpong, and Florian Wirtz. And now, of course, Liverpool have just sold Jarrell Quansah. You've got Gahey and the Alexander Isak saga, which, is probably going to drag out for a majority of the summer. Whoever it is that Arsenal bring in, they need to get that done and get that done. I would imagine it will probably be in July. Whoever their signings are going to be, purely on the speculation that a lot of their players are away on holiday, and if they are going to get Rodrygo from Real Madrid, it's not going to be until after the Club World Cup, which takes place. The final of the Club World Cup is on the 13th. Sorry, the final is on the 15th of July. So whoever it's going to be, it's probably, at this moment in time, they probably are going to move for Rodrygo. Is Camavinga going to be an option? Ollie Watkins. You've also got Victor Gyökeres. Whoever it's going to be, it's going to be, very, very soon. Going into next month, I would imagine. According to Charles Watts, Martin Zubimendi will wear number 36 at Arsenal next season. That is the first big signing for Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano said just over 60 million euros is what Martin Zubimendi will be joining Arsenal for, just over 60 million. But look, if I was, speaking openly and honest about this transfer window, only City and Liverpool have done huge amounts of business this window so far. It's still very early on. You still got all of July. You still got if we're sitting here right now and teams still haven't done business on the 22nd of July, I would start to be a bit like, okay, the Club World Cup's finished now. What are these teams doing? But like Tottenham have got Matthias Tel done, which was an easy deal because he was already on loan. We just triggered the option. Chelsea have got Delap done because it was a release clause. No one else has really done anything other than Man City and Liverpool. So Arsenal fans, just relax. You all do your signings, and I will see you soon.